Hello, my friends. The Royal Academy is an oasis of art and peace in Madrid downtown. It is a friendly museum. In no other of Madrid's great museums do visitors to find such comfortable armchairs to rest during their tour. It is also allowed to take photos and videos. But through its corridors full of masterpieces, very few visitors wander. This is a great mystery of Madrid, to know why the Royal Academy, so hospitable, receives so few visitors. In this virtual tour, I will introduce you to some of the greatest artistic treasures of the Royal Academy and its department of the Calcografía Nacional. Francisco Goya's famous engravings, Los Caprichos, and his paintings with which he anticipated Expressionism. So, let's get to it! The ceremony in which Goya became director of the painting section of the Royal Academy took place in the Skewed Theatre. Goya defended the artist's freedom of execution. He wanted his pupils to develop their own personalities without servitude to styles or methods. As a teacher, he wanted the artistic spirit of his students to be free. In 1778, the same year as the inauguration of the emblematic Puerta de Alcalá, Goya began engraving. At first, with the simple technique of etching. This consists of waxing a copper plate and drawing on it. After basing it in acid, the drawing gets stamped on the plate. The engraving of the dwarf Diego de Acedo, according to a portrait by Velázquez, dates from this period. The series of 80 etchings of Francisco de Goya, Los Caprichos, the Whims in English, contain a general criticism of the society of his time. People seemed to discard moral principles in their social behavior, such as death in a duel for love or female inconstancy and sentimental relationships. In She Already Got a Seat, Goya sarcastically criticized the lack of judgment of promiscuous girls. The expression "she already got a seat" referred to girls who showed a decent behavior. The engraving Love and Death criticized the stupidity of dying in a duel for the love of a woman. This etching, aquatint, and dry point engraving could refer to the end of the love affair between Goya and the Duchess of Alba. The Duchess's fickleness in her sentimental relationships was well known in Madrid. With the dry point technique, the artist scratched his drawing on the metal plate. The dry point technique did not allow many prints since his drawing, not using wax, erased faster. The monstrous character with gigantic face was a caricature that defined sodomites in Goya's times. Goya again uses etching, aquatint, and dry point to depict an old witch teaching a young witch to fly on a broom, although it could also allude to the initiation of a young apprentice into the practice of prostitution. The Queen of Spain was Maria Luisa of Parma, a hot-blooded woman. Without any compunction, Goya ridiculed her in these two engravings. In All Shall Fall, some woman's skin and young men already used by the Queen. And in Bad Night, a disheveled Maria Luisa returns to the palace after spending a stormy night of passion. Prime Minister Manuel Godoy, who rose from being a simple military to the position of Prime Minister, was also a target of Goya's merciless judgment. At the same time, Goya takes a swipe at the poor quality of education in Spain, where donkeys abounded among teachers and students. The capricious etchings cemented Goya's reputation as a libertine. The progressives of his times added him to their blacklist. Years later, Goya will pay the consequences for having dared to detail the moral vices of society. In 1808, Napoleon invaded Spain. Goya saw the heroic resistance of the people of Madrid. Then came the reign of Joseph Bonaparte, Napoleon's brother. Spain's first Masonic king promoted some reforms, but famine, as before the invasion, continued to plague the population. Josefa Bayou, Goya's wife, died of starvation in 1812. Between 1808 and 1812, a time of Napoleonic occupation and famine, Goya made 5 small panel paintings that predate the arrival of Expressionism by 100 years. Goya painted in a time of great difficulties, the hedonistic joy of the people that overcomes the repression of the religious authority. Goya knew perfectly well the behavior and customs of the common people. This painting shows an exaltation of popular freedom. An impressive, playful movement envelops the people and the landscape. The procession of flagellants were another irrational sample of popular fanaticism. Goya detested all kinds of stupid traditions. The painter fits into a sinister oval a tumultuous scenes of collective masochism. Based on a reliable source of information, Goya depicted a trial of Inquisition. Among the attendants, there are some monstrous faces. They would later reappear in paintings of the Expressionists by the Blaureiter, founded by Kandinsky. At this point, Goya was deaf, but still the painting emanates the hubbub of the crowd that fills the room. It is not the first time that Goya created the sound paintings. Terrifying madhouse, a ghostly light envelops the disorderly choreography of Horace. This painting would have fit very well in Peter Brook's film Marat Sade. To the right of the painting, outside the illuminated area, a scene not suitable for minors. This is a heated controversy between those who claim that Goya didn't approve of bullfights and those who defend opposite. In any case, it is evident that bulls are protagonists of several works by the painter. In the small pictorial jewel, the picador occupies the center. He is ready to stick a bull of sharp horns, who is about to charge an unprotected picador's horse. The painting radiates the silence and the expectation that precedes the dramatic clash. Well, my friends, I hope you are now a little more familiar with the etchings of Francisco Goya, Los Caprichos, and with his best paintings at the Royal Academy of Fine Arts, San Fernando. In fact, there are dramatic works related to a time of hunger, fear, ignorance, and social backwardness. One wonders if Goya's sarcastic and merciless critical spirit would have found a place in our time. I bid you farewell with a tour of the Royal Academy. I will be happy to guide you through this wonderful museum when you come to Madrid. See you soon. Bye bye.